myself Bhautik Trivedi, working as an assistant professor in IT/ICT department of LG Institute of Engineering and Technology. I will explain you the concept of symmetric and asymmetric encryption in security. So first of all of you know the concept of symmetric encryption. So symmetric encryption means what? Whenever you using the same key for the encryption as well as the decryption, this particular concept is known as a symmetric encryption. And what do you mean by asymmetric encryption? Asymmetric encryption means what? At the encryption side using the different key and the decryption side using the different key, that is known as a asymmetric encryption. So asymmetric encryption is also known as a public key encryption. So in this particular concept, mainly three important points. One, that is the confidentiality. Second one, that is the authentication. And third one, that is known as a authentication and confidentiality. So let's start with the concept of symmetric encryption first. So here you just see in this particular figure, one plain text is there. In this plain text, you apply the encryption algorithm on that. At that time, using the concept of the key. Must remember one thing, symmetric key encryption means what? At the encryption as well as the decryption side using the same key. So according to this diagram, plain text input, encryption algorithm, then after the sender and receiver using the same key, and whatever you generate, that is known as a E in bracket K comma X. So what is the meaning of K here? K means that is the key, X means that is the plain text. What is the meaning of Y? Y, that is known as a ciphertext. This is only regarding the concept of encryption point of view. Again, I repeat the same concept. X, that can be considered as a plain text. E, that can be considering as a encryption algorithm. K, that can be considering as a key. Whatever you generate, that is known as a ciphertext. And ciphertext means Y is equal to E in bracket K comma X. After that, at the decryption side. At the decryption side, using the decryption algorithm, using the same key, because that is the concept of symmetric key encryption. And whatever you generate, that is known as a plain text. So that is the plain text output. So that is regarding the concept of symmetric key encryption. Next point, that is the asymmetric key encryption. So whenever you talk about the asymmetric encryption, at that time the important 3 points. First one, that is known as a confidentiality. Second one, that is known as a authentication. And third one, that is known as a confidentiality and authentication. So let's start with the concept of the confidentiality. Must remember one thing, this is the part of the asymmetric key encryption. So asymmetric key encryption using the different key at the encryption side as well as the decryption side. So here you just see that is the plain text input. After that, that is the encryption algorithm. Here using the concept of the public key of the receiver, that is the most important point in a confidentiality. Whatever you generate, that is known as a ciphertext. At the decryption side, using the private key of the receiver. So whenever you talk about the concept of the confidentiality, so in confidentiality, encryption with using the receiver's public key and decryption with using the receiver's private key, that is known as a concept of confidentiality. So for example, one confidential letter directly read by me. So the example is that with using my private key, I can directly decrypt the particular confidential letter. So that's why with using the receiver's private key, you can directly decrypt this. That is known as a concept of confidentiality, means the confidential information directly received by the particular person. So that is the concept of the confidentiality. Second one, that is the authentication. Authentication, here the concept of the digital signature, means in confidentiality, encryption side using the receiver's public key, decryption side using the receiver's private key. But here whenever you go for the encryption, so with using the sender's private key, that is the most important thing. So here you directly operate the encryption algorithm with using the sender's private key. and a decryption with using the sender's public key. This is regarding the concept of digital signature or authentication. So must remember two important statements from this particular point. One, whenever you go for the confidentiality, so in confidentiality, decryption with using the receiver's private key, and whenever you go for the authentication, so encryption with using the sender's private key. So that is regarding the concept of authentication and confidentiality. After that, one important point regarding this, if I want to operate both technique within a one particular thing, so how I operate this, you just see, this is the message. This particular message directly passed to the encryption algorithm. So here PRA. So what is the meaning of PRA here? PRA means sender private key. So whenever you go for the sender private key, so what is the meaning of that? First of all, you apply the authentication on that. After that, again you apply the encryption algorithm with using the which? With using the public key of the receiver, means that is the concept of the confidentiality. After that, whatever you generate, again you apply the decryption algorithm with using the PRB. PRB means that is the receiver's private key. So that is the concept of confidentiality. And after that, PUA. So PUA means that is the concept of the authentication at the receiver side. So here the important two formula regarding this. So at least you know, if you want to directly describe the concept of Z. So how I write this? So first of all of you know, with using the sender's private key, and that is the message. So that can be treated as a EPRAX. After that, again I apply the public key of the receiver, means PUB. So EPUB, EPRAX. So that is known as a Z. So this is at the encryption side for the authentication and confidentiality. After that, what about the decryption side? So X is equal to D in bracket PUA comma DPRB comma Z. This is at the decryption side. So up to this, I discussed important 3 points. First one, that is the confidentiality. Second one, that is the authentication. And third one, that is known as the authentication and confidentiality in asymmetric key encryption. And must remember one thing, asymmetric key encryption is also known as public key encryption. So up to this, at least you know, one, that is the symmetric key encryption, and second one, asymmetric key encryption. After that, what's the application of that? What's the application of public key crypto system? What's the application of public key encryption? So here you just see, first of all, encryption, decryption. Second one, digital signature. So what is the meaning of digital signature here? Digital signature means one signing phase is there and one verifying phase is there. So sender signing a message with its private key, and signing is directly achieved by the cryptographic algorithm. And third one, that is the key exchange. So it directly exchanging a session key between the different user. So that's the application of the public key crypto system. So up to this, at least you know the important 3 points in this particular unit. One, that is the symmetric key encryption. Second one, asymmetric key encryption. In asymmetric key encryption, you know the 3 important points. First one, that is known as a confidentiality. Second one, authentication. And third one, confidentiality and authentication. And then after the application of that. After that, one important point in this is known as a Diffie-Hellman key exchange. So why we use the key exchange algorithm here? That is generally part of the public key crypto system or public key cryptography or public key encryption. So here you just see, generally Diffie-Hellman key exchange algorithm generally providing the exchange of key between the different user. So that's why first important point in Diffie-Hellman key exchange, that is known as a concept of primitive root. So what is the meaning of primitive root? Here I explain with using one proper example. So here you just see, all of you know the concept of prime number. So here I take one P that can be considering as a prime number. After that A, that is the primitive root of P. Means all of you know P means what? That is the prime number. A means what? That is the primitive root. So how I decide, how I select the primitive root for this particular prime number? So that's why that supported one proper example. Here you just see A mod P, S square mod P, A raised to P minus 1 mod P. So here I take a one example. The logic is that whenever you go for the power of A modulo P, so it generates all integers from 1 to P minus 1. For example, if you take the P is equal to 7, so your answer for the modulo operation that starts from 1 up to the 6. So let's take one example so you properly understood the concept of primitive root. Here you just see P is equal to 7. Here I take the prime number P is equal to 7. Here I take primitive root is 3. In which particular condition I take the primitive root is 3? Whenever it directly generate the answer from 1 to 6, then and then I take the primitive root is 3. So here you just see 3 raised to 1 means all of you know. 3 raised to 1 means 3. So 3 mod 7, what's the answer? That's 3. 3 raised to 2 is equal to 9. 9 mod 7, what's the answer? That is 2. 3 raised to 3, 27. 27 mod 7, what's the answer? 6. 3 raised to 4, 81. 81 mod 7, what's the answer? 4. 3 raised to 5, 243. 243 mod 7, what's the answer? 5. And 3 raised to 6, 729. 729 mod 7, what's the answer? 1. So here you just see whatever the answer that start from 1 to 6. That's why I take 3 as a primitive root for prime number 7. So that's the logic of this particular concept. So again I repeat, must remember one thing, you know the concept of prime number, you know the concept of primitive root, and whenever and which particular condition you select the primitive root is equal to this for this particular prime number, whenever that satisfies this particular condition. After that, one most important topic, that is the Diffie-Hellman key exchange. So here you just see Diffie-Hellman key exchange supported which particular parameter. So at least you know this all condition, this all parameter, then and then you go for this particular algorithm. Here you just see two important global public elements. One, that is the Q, that is the prime number, and second one, that is the alpha, that is the primitive root of Q. Already I discussed what is the meaning of prime number, what is the meaning of primitive root. So first Q, that's the prime number, and alpha, that's the primitive root. And must remember one thing, the value of primitive root always less than prime number, means alpha less than Q, that is a one condition here. After that, Diffie-Hellman key exchange. Why we use the Diffie-Hellman algorithm? That is generally used for key exchanging between the different user. So that's why here I select user A and user B. All of you know this is the public key cryptography. This is the asymmetric key encryption. So always using the concept of public key and private key. So here user A supported two key. One, that is the private key, and second one, that is the public key. Private key means that is known as a XA, and public key, that is YA. XA less than Q, that is the one condition, and YA is equal to alpha raised to XA mod Q, that is the formula. Same way for the user B also. Private key, that is the XB, XB less than Q, and public key YB, YB is equal to alpha raised to XB mod Q. So this is the way you can select, you can calculate the private key and public key for the user A as well as the user B. So that's the formula for the Diffie-Hellman key exchange. After that, after selecting this, then after you calculate the secret key of the user A as well as the user B. How I calculate the secret key of the user A? K is equal to YB raised to XA mod Q. And how I calculate the secret key for the user B? K is equal to YA raised to XB mod Q. So up to this, in Diffie-Hellman key exchange algorithm, you know one concept, that is the private key. Second one, calculation of the public key of the user A as well as the user B. And third point, calculation of the secret key of the user A and user B. So that's the formula regarding the Diffie-Hellman key exchange. So let's start with one example. But before that, at least you know why the secret key retrieve the same answer for user A as well as the user B. So here the formula is that you just see K is equal to YB raised to XA mod Q. And all of you know what is the meaning of YB. YB means alpha raised to XB mod Q raised to XA mod Q. How I write this? So alpha raised to XB XA mod Q. And all of you know whenever you write alpha raised to XB XA mod Q, that can be written as alpha raised to XB XA mod Q. And all of you know alpha raised to XA mod Q raised to XB mod Q. And alpha raised to XA mod Q means what? So Y raised to XB mod Q. So according to this, the K is equal to YB raised to XA mod Q and K is equal to Y raised to XB mod Q, both containing the same answer. That's the answer for the secret key. So must remember one thing, whenever you perform the particular calculation of Diffie-Hellman key exchange, at that time the value of K remains same for the user A as well as the user B. After that, one example. All of you know one prime number is given. What's the value of the prime number here? 23. One primitive root is given. Alpha is equal to 5. First of all, select one private key. XA is equal to 6. The first step is that calculate the public key of the alias. So how I calculate this? Y is equal to alpha raised to XA mod Q. So whenever you write this, answer is equal to 8. After that, Bob selecting a private key. XB is equal to 15. Bob calculating the public key. YB is equal to alpha raised to XB mod Q. What's the answer? 19. After calculating the public key of the alias and Bob, then after the most important point in Diffie-Hellman key exchange, to exchange the key. So alias sends YA to Bob and Bob sends YB to alias, and at that time calculating the secret key also. So how I calculate the secret key? So alias computing the secret key, K is equal to YB raised to XA mod Q, and Bob compute the K is equal to YA raised to XB mod Q. And must remember one thing, alias calculating the secret key, Bob calculating the secret key, both secret key contain the same answer. So here you just see the K is equal to 2 and K is equal to 2. So that's the concept of Diffie-Hellman key exchange algorithm. So at least you know the different formula. Then after you know the concept of private key, concept of public key, concept of prime number, concept of primitive root, each and everything. After that, the last important point in this particular unit regarding the public key crypto system, that is known as a man in the middle attack. If you know the Diffie-Hellman key exchange algorithm, so you know the concept of man in the middle attack. Only change is that in Diffie-Hellman key exchange algorithm, the key exchange between the two users only. But whenever you talk about the concept of man in the middle attack, so at that time one adversary in between the two users. So here you just see alias and Bob is there. In between Dart, that can be treated as an adversary. So what's the logic behind that? So Dart generally preparing an attack by generating a two random private key. Here that can be treated as a XD1 and XD2, because whenever you talk about the alias, so that is XA. Whenever you talk about the Bob, that can be treated as a XB. Here that is XD1 and XD2. After that, from this private key, you directly generating two important public key, YD1 and YD2. After that, alias transmit YA to Bob. Alias transmit YA to Bob, but at that time in between one adversary Dart directly intercept the public key of the alias and it transmit YD1 to Bob, not transmitting YA, then directly transmitting the YD1 to Bob, and Dart at that time calculating the K2 is equal to Y raised to XD2 mod Q. After that, after calculating from the Dart side, Bob receives the public key from the Dart side. Bob receives YD1 and calculate Y1, K1 is equal to YD1 raised to XB mod Q. So this is the only regarding the concept of alias to Bob transmission. Alias to Dart, Dart to Bob. After that, Bob transmit YB to alias. Again, Dart intercept the YB and transmit K1 is equal to YB raised to XD1 mod Q, and alias receives the YD2 and calculate K2 is equal to YD2 raised to XA mod Q. So that's the logic of the main in the middle attack. The main fundamental is that in between one adversary directly capture the public key from the alias and public key from the Bob. So that's the logic of the main in the middle attack. And one simple diagram, already you know, whatever I discussed, the communication between the alias to Dart, then after Dart to Bob, from Bob to Dart, and Dart to alias. So that's all about the today's session. In mainly first important point, that is the regarding the symmetric encryption. Second one, that is the asymmetric encryption, confidentiality, authentication, confidentiality and authentication. After that, talk about the Diffie-Hellman key exchange algorithm with the different formula. And the last important point in the today's session, that is the man in the middle attack. So that's all about the today's session. Thank you for watching.